So welcome everyone. Again, I'm Dwight with Max Movement Training, and today we're going to be going over inventory control. One of the, I want to say, most underlooked things in an organization, or not really talked about things in an organization, where it's like, hey, we're always buying supplies, or our guys are always losing the supplies, and it's just like trying to figure out what exactly to do about that situation. Hey, do we charge our guys for losing this equipment? um you know where do we get this equipment from? Whatever it is, it's just like, how are you tracking this stuff? And that's the main point of this live today, is how are you tracking your inventory? Are you making sure that, hey, from day one of the month, January 1st or March 1st, am I March 1st, am I, tracking everything from March 1st to March 31st before I order inventory? How often are you ordering inventory? Are you only ordering it when you need it? And basically I'm going to give you guys a few tips today on how to go about your inventory and what's worked for me in the past, currently. So with that being said, things that you might want to look at, hey, let's start off with when to order inventory. Set a time in a month, maybe once a month, around maybe the 23rd of the month, or around right before the 1st, so that pretty much you have enough day to get enough inventory to come back in to cycle. But like the 23rd, the 21st, the 22nd, around that range, you want to be able to order a whole, your next inventory for next month. So if you guys realize that by the 20th of the month that you're down rubber bands, or you're down shrink wrap, or you're down mattress bags, whatever it is, you want to start to get that order in around the 20th of every month and be punctual with that order, so that basically the turnaround for delivery could be there maybe the 29th or the 30th, so that it's at your front door. So that's one of the things that you want to do for your ordering purposes. Now, again, this whole thing is about tracking. So in order to figure out exactly what you need to be able to make sure you know what you lost. Now, there are some companies that just let their guys go into the inventory closet, grab what they need, and then, hey, go on a truck. Or I've seen situations where, the dispatcher, sorry, I've seen situations where the dispatcher just went in the closet, grabbed like 6, 7 blankets, threw it on a truck, and then said, hey, yeah, I had to get those guys just enough blankets for the day so they can go out and do their job for the day. And it's just like, okay, how many did we have in inventory to begin with? Are you sure you gave them 6? And, and it's just like, okay, well, we don't want to be, trying to keep track of all this stuff. It's a lot to keep track of. And that's why we're losing so much money. So those are the things that we want to do. And I'm going to show you how to bring this all together. So let me actually make sure my screen is right. This is what a typical inventory tracker will look like. Typically, you're going to want to have something that shows everything, a master inventory of everything that you have in your warehouse. Now, we'll get to the trucks a little later, but, and again, your inventory in your warehouse may differ. I'm sure it does differ, but, these are the common things that, typically an inventory would have. If you have boxes for sale, you're going to want to make sure that you're keeping track of every item. So even if you say, well, hey, we got 5 medium boxes for sale, but technically the trucks will have, 5 on each truck, or whatever the case is. Let's just say you have 5 left right now. So technically you want to make sure that, hey, this inventory was once somewhere. It was once somewhere. So it was once in your warehouse, and then it appeared on your truck. And it's like having an audit trail, like just like financials, where it's like, well, hey, I had $2 going to my account today. Where did that $2 end up at? So it's like keeping track of your inventory. So this is like day 1 of the month, if you can see the tab down here. So it'd be like day 1. So then now you have 250 blankets or so like that. Now, let's say you know what your minimums are. Your minimums are going to be whatever your minimums are. So for this example, we're at 200 minimum. So right now it's saying that, hey, we're negative 50 above, so we do not have to order any because we're still good. It's when we get to the positive that we need to start ordering stuff. So, like you see all these down here, obviously these are negatives, but this one here is saying that, hey, we need 19 more, or we need 139 more to basically get even with this 144. So however you choose to do your inventory, whether it's negative is, hey, we need to reorder, or positive is we need to reorder. However you do it, don't get complicated with the system. And again, you could create something like this on Excel, make it a lot easier for yourself to track. And then now, while you create something like this, now you want to be able to keep track of your truck inventory as well. So, if you got 5 trucks, 9 trucks, 25 trucks, whatever it is, you want to keep track of the inventory that's on those trucks. So let's say that we have no blankets on this truck here. So technically we need 50. So we say, okay, well, hey, we're going to put 50 into rotation on this truck. So now when you put 50 into rotation, if you aligned your calculator up, it's going to say, oh, 50 came out. So now you're down to 200 in your final inventory, and you're down to 0 for a need to reorder. But now if you say, well, hey, truck number 2, I needed another 25 in here because I had 25 already in this inventory. Now you're at your 50, you got your minimum. And now when you go to your master inventory, oh snap, 75 came out. And oops, let me not touch nothing. Let's see. So 75 came out. And now you need to reorder 25 because you're below your minimum threshold. You only have 175 left. So this is something that you're going to definitely want to keep track of, and make sure that it's ongoing. Now you say, well, hey, what if you did this on, maybe you didn't do inventory the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. Maybe you just say, hey, maybe around the 10th, I just redid inventory. And on the 10th, you're like, okay, well, hey, I still have 175 left. So you see how this could kind of align, where it's like, hey, I'm actually keeping track. Okay, I know what's going on. 75 blankets went somewhere because originally you started with 250. And now you could say, well, hey, on this day, let's just say that 25 was taken out, or 20 is missing. And we could always reword this. So 20 was missing. Now you have 30 left in your inventory. So when you do your inventory this day on the 10th of the month, you realize that you only had 30 because 20 blankets were missing somewhere. Oops, I'm always touching something. Okay, where are we? Let's go back to the 10th. Okay. So let's see. So you took out 20, and then basically now, let me see, I'm going to actually put in, we had 50 in here initially. So let's just say that for now, and I'll adjust this later. So now you have, again, 20 that you need to reorder for this truck. So now you're saying, well, hey, I need to get this truck back up to the minimum. Let me check the warehouse inventory, see if we have actual blankets. Oh, snap, we have 175 left. And now you're saying, well, hey, let me add another 30 to the inventory. Am I saying it right? Nope, 20. And now, oh, snap, you're back up to 50. But you also realize on the 10th that you took out another 20, which left you at 155. So you know how many you need to reorder, which is 45, and that number keeps going up. So now on the 20th of the month, let's just say that you did inventory on the 20th of the month. you know that, hey, on the 20th of the month, you know, hey, I need to order 46 or 46 blankets or so like that. And there's one blanket missing somewhere, because I think on the 10th we mentioned that it was 45. So now that means that one of these trucks out of these 10 days took a blanket. So ultimately, you're going to want to find out which truck took a blanket. But obviously, if you've been doing this every day, you know which truck actually took that one blanket. And now you could see exactly what you need to order on the 20th based on your supply minimum, and kind of get your inventory under control. But now the key is, yes, you know, you lost some blankets and stuff like that. You had to replenish blankets. You know, the guys were on a job, they left the blankets wrapped on a furniture piece, forgot it, or whatever the case is. The goal of this is to track this on a day-to-day basis. Don't skip days to say, well, hey, you know, we're going to skip from the 10th to the 20th, because then you don't know what job the guys lost this inventory on. So if you're doing this daily and you have your guys go out with an inventory sheet for the truck every day, and basically track every item that's on that truck every day. Hey, count the blankets, count the tie downs, count the rubber bands, count the shrink wrap, count whatever you need to count on that truck to make sure that it's there. Submit that form, that paper, back to dispatch, and allow dispatch to be able to take that information, plug in the information for that day, compare it using this sheet to the previous day, and realize, oh snap, we lost a blanket. Oh snap, we lost a tie down. All right, let me reach out to this customer or whatever the case is that y'all had yesterday. Hey, so I believe our guys might have left a couple of blankets at your house yesterday. Oh yeah. The guys left some blankets here at our house, or whatever the case is. Okay, do you mind folding up, and I'll come grab it, or whatever the case is. And as tedious as that may be, or you could send out your team. I've sent out my drivers. Hey, can you go out there? It's about maybe 10 miles out. You know, you guys left some blankets over there, whatever the case is, grab those blankets and bring it back. And, you know, obviously, if you got the buy-in from your team and your team understands the importance of keeping track of your inventory, they're going to work with you. And, you know, they're going to get to the point of being furious that, hey, it wasn't their fault. It was their movers that left it, or whatever case is. And they're going to start getting, you know, holding those guys accountable. Hey, guys, I'm not trying to drive back out here to get drop some blankets. Like, come on, I got better things to do in my day. So it's got to, like, you know, hold your leads accountable to hold your movers accountable, versus trying to hold every individual accountable. It's a lot more efficient going that route. This is going to be, like I said, account for all the items that you got going on. Tracking down all items missing. So again, we went over tracking all items missing. So basically, by doing this day by day, you're going to basically be able to see which items you're missing, call Sue or call Jane, whoever is the customer, and basically look to go and track those items. Incentivizing the guys, basically what we can do for there is, like, we could offer like some type of bonus structure where you could do it at the end of the year. So let's say your bonus structure is tied to safety. So if they're getting claims, if they're losing items, if they're not keeping the trucks clean, you could do something similar to that, where it's like, okay, hey guys, we're going to develop a pot, and the pot is based on how much money we can technically save, because we don't have to rebuy inventory. We don't have to, you guys are not getting that many claims, and you guys are actually keeping the truck clean, which obviously we know that the importance of keeping your truck clean. Presentation is everything. So from the back of the truck where all the equipment is kept, to even the cab, where it's just like, hey guys, like, that's unsanitary. Like, you know, why are we coming in here with bottles all over the place, and this and this and this and this, you know? And it's kind of like, hey, incentivize them a little bit more. You know, yes, it's their job and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. But it's one of those things where it's like, hey, how much are you willing to sacrifice to make sure that the job gets done right and the little stuff don't get forgotten? So, you know, you could do incentivized bonuses paid out at the end of the year, right before Christmas, which then obviously boosts them up a little bit, because they're like, okay, well, hey, now we got Christmas money, we could do something, whatever the case is. And every week you could take out a percentage of your revenue, and like maybe like 5%, take out a percentage of your revenue, your total earned revenue for that week, and put that away into the pot. Now, if you get a claim, okay, hey, you can use that to go against some of the claim. If you guys lose equipment, you could start taking some of the money out of there to kind of rebuy that equipment. And same thing for dirty trucks. Hey, you know what, guys? We're going to pay somebody to come clean these trucks since you guys clearly can't do the job and clean the trucks behind yourselves. So now everybody's bonus is going to take a hit because you guys can't go and throw out 5 bottles. And once they hear that, they're going to be like, oh no, I don't, like, that's stupid. Don't pay nobody. Like, I want that money. Okay, well, hey, if you want the money, you do the job. And at the end of the year, when you do give them the bonus or so like that, you basically want to have it set up in a way where if John caused, say, 30% of the loss of the pot, let's say you have $7,000 in there, or let's say you have $10,000 in there for round figures, and John caused 30% of the loss of that pot, or whatever the case is, and it should have been probably more. Now, hey, that's okay. Well, hey, when I break this 10,000 up, 3,000 of that was lost because of John. So John, you're going to take a 30% hit on your bonus. So everybody that's getting a bonus of, let's say, $1,000 or whatever the case might be, you're going to take that 30% hit on that 1,000. So now instead of you getting 1,000, you're going to get 700 because it's 30%. So now when John starts to see, oh man, I only got 700, and Bill, he got 900, and Dave got $1,000. They start to think a little wiser, like, oh man, I don't want to lose no money. Like, I want my whole pot, like, because everybody's going to be talking about, oh, I got $1,000, or I got $950, or I got this, and John is just looking at his bonus check like, damn, I got $700, and it's just one of those things where it's just like incentivizing them, but also penalizing them. Obviously, we know we can't penalize them by touching their checks, because obviously it's illegal. But we have to somehow say, well, hey, we'll give you this only if you do this. But if you don't do this, then you don't get it. And it's kind of like, hey, you know what? It's the world of manipulation. We have to do what we got to do to make sure that we get where we need to get. As you guys know, inventory is very, very expensive. I think I placed an order for like 96 blankets and some other stuff the other day, and it was like easily probably like $1,500, almost $2,000, and it was just like, come on, this can't be life, And I know that some of you order in bulk, so y'all probably pay a whole lot more, but are y'all properly tracking it? Is the key. So yeah, so we went over account for all the items, we went over incentivizing the crews not to lose the items, tracking down all the items, and then basically making sure that, okay, so some of you might have like little have hangers in your trucks for rubber bands and maybe boxes for tape or whatever the case is, whatever inventory you're using, however y'all sort them, if you have a box or like a equipment bag, I prefer equipment bags because the guys can carry that right in the house with the to make sure they have their toolbox, shrink wrap, whatever they need to have in their handy, they have it in their tool bag. And with that being said, that tool bag can be assigned to a truck, not a person or a team, but assigned to a truck. You can ultimately assign your guys to a truck and say, well, hey, John, you're always going to be with truck 1. Dave, you're always going to be with truck 2. Adam, you're always going to be with truck 3. You can ideally assign them where they feel kind of accountable, like, oh, okay, not too many people was in my truck, so obviously if something happened to my truck, that must have been me. So if you need to do that, but basically you want to make sure that, one, you're making your lead, like I said, accountable for this equipment. And one of the things that I do at the end of the job is I like to ask the guys, hey guys, you make sure you got all your equipment, you check the truck is clean, stuff like that. Just go through a series of questions to just remind them oh snap, hey Dave, can you go grab those 2 blankets that was upstairs? You know, just putting that little bug in their ear. So obviously guys are going to make that mistake of potentially, you know, trying to rush out after a long day, and you just want to make sure that they got everything they need to get. So again, this is the inventory tracker. You know, tracking it every day. You can create, like I said, create your own spreadsheet. I found that if you do it based on every like every day of the month, you could probably keep track of it. And then, like I said, on around the 20th, you're going to want to be able to start ordering your inventory so that basically you have it by the 1st, and you kind of start the cycle all over again. And then basically, like I said, you're going to duplicate a sheet like this, so that basically now you have March, now you have April, now you have May, now you have June, and you could kind of have a monthly tracker to keep track of everything that you got. You can even go one step further if you really wanted to with this, and basically, which you probably have QuickBooks, so you might not even need to do it. But if you don't have QuickBooks, you can go one step further and actually, like at the end of your 31 days, create another tab, and basically on day 32, even though there's no 32 days, I hope y'all don't think it was, you want to basically be able to track how much it costs. So how much do 1 blanket cost? Or how much do a bundle of blankets cost? How much do a rubber bands cost? And basically, whenever you do a back-end order, so you say, well, hey, I did a back-end order on the 31st for another 200 blankets. Now on day 32, or the 32nd tab, you could say 200 blankets cost me this per each blanket. And now you have a layout of all your costs that it costs you. And you could use that cost analysis to add it up at the end of the period and say, well, hey, okay, well, we spent $5,000 this month. Okay, we spent another $3,000 at the end of May. Oh snap, we spent another, $2,500 at the end of June. And basically you can start adding that up. Again, you do have QuickBooks. So if you're using QuickBooks and stuff like that, that's going to give you your inventory control anyways, or your inventory cost anyways. But if you don't have QuickBooks and you're not, too financially, set up yet to get to that point, I hope you do get to that point, then you can create something just so simple here where you can just monitor your expenses of your inventory control. All right, anybody do have any questions regarding inventory control, definitely let me know. Again, I'm Dwight with Max Movement Training, and y'all take care. All right.